Hello and welcome to another video from Easy Academy. In this particular video, my focus is going to be on walking you through and breaking down some of the key AI technologies that you may encounter when doing your research or trying to understand how OpenAI or how ChatGPT works. That's what I'm going to be focusing on. Now, sometimes you may hear these terms. You are trying to understand one term and they bring up another term and then it becomes very confusing. I hope that at the end of this video, I would have been able to break down some of these concepts for you to understand in simple English without having to wrap your head around what it even means. So I hope it will be helpful for you. Now, if you are new to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe, like this video, and if you think it is useful, please share it with other people that might benefit from the contents of this video. You can also follow me on my Twitter handle, Easy Academy, and check out my website when you are done with the video. Now, let's get started with some of the terminologies. The first one I want to cover is obviously artificial intelligence. So what is artificial intelligence? If you take a look at what humans are able to do, we are able to look at objects and understand what they mean. So for example, if you see an image of this pen, you understand that that is a pen. Computers naturally are not able to do that. So anything that we are able to do as humans and we are able to program or train a computer software to do, that would not be something considered natural. So any type of intelligence that a computer program might be able to exhibit constitutes artificial intelligence. So in very simple terms, artificial intelligence or AI is the ability of a computer program or software or set or combination of software being able to do something that a human or a natural entity like an animal, like a dog or cat will be able to do. So being able to understand sound, being able to understand text, being able to understand images or videos, those are something that humans do and it is natural. But when a computer is able to do such actions or be able to have such types of analysis, then this constitutes artificial intelligence. So in very simple terms, whenever a computer program can do something that humans are able to do naturally, that constitutes artificial intelligence. So I hope that makes it simple. Now let's go to machine learning. When it comes to machine learning, in very simple terms, we sometimes create rules in which when we receive input in a computer program, when you see this, then do this. So those are rules. But when you start to have computer programs being able to receive input data and understand the different patterns between that input data so that the next time they see something that is similar, they are able to reason and give you an output, then that is a branch of computer science and artificial intelligence called machine learning. So in very simple terms, the ability of a computer program to look at input data and be able to predict or generate a response or conclusion without having to create a set of rules or formula is what we call machine learning. So I hope that explains that. And then once the machine learning process is complete, something called a model is created. So this is a set of mathematical formulas or equations that is being used by the computer program or system to perform the reasoning with the input. So like with ChatGPT, we have the Da Vinci model. So the Da Vinci model has this set of equations and mathematical formulas that are being used so that when you present input, like in the form of text, it is able to run this set of input through all these different mathematical equations and formulas, and it creates the final result. So that combination of formulas or equations is what we call a machine learning model. And then supervised learning is another term that is being thrown around a lot. This is a type of machine learning strategy in which you provide the computer program with labeled data sets. So like when we are babies, when we are growing up, they may tell you that, this is a pen, this is called cell phone, this is called a book. So when you see these items, you are able to recognize what they are, because we have assigned labels, or we have assigned names to these particular sets of input data of these pictures. Now there is a branch of AI or machine learning that involves computer vision or speech recognition or text processing, natural language processing, all these different things. When you are providing input data that is labeled or uniquely identified to the process of doing the machine learning, that is supervised learning, because you are telling the computer program that this is what it is. So the next time you encounter this, make sure you provide this response. So during the training process, the provision of labeled input is what typically distinguishes this type of training process from the other ones like semi-supervised and unsupervised, where no labeled data is provided. So with supervised learning, we are telling it that this is what it is, this is how you call it, this is what it means, so that when this mathematical model is created, it would be able to predict future input data based on the labels that we provided at the beginning. So that's what the supervised learning means. Now let's take a look at pre-training. Now with ChatGPT, the name says that it is generative pre-trained transformer. So the pre-training here simply means that you don't have to create the model yourself based on your own input data. The OpenAI company and team have already provided this computer program, all these different input data, labeled, unlabeled, and so on. And you are using a set of equations or mathematical models that have already been shown this type of data before in the past. So it has already been trained prior and previous to what you're trying to use it to do right now. So with pre-training, it just simply means that the model or the mathematical equations you are using behind the scenes has already encountered or seen the input data you're going to present right now, and it will be able to use the formulas or the combination of equations that was created after the training to be able to generate, create, predict the output that you desire it to do based on what it was trained on. So that's all pre-training means. It's not really complicated. It just means that the model and the program has already seen what you're about to show it, and it understands what it needs to do to provide the final result desired. Generative here in the phrase GPT simply means that the computer model can predict or can recreate information based on what it was trained on. So sometimes there are computer models that just tells you whether something is true or false or what category it belongs to. But this particular model is trained to be able to predict or to create or to generate the new token or the image or whatever you're trying to do based on what it was trained on. So that's what generative means in this particular sentence when we say generative pre-trained transformer. And then the next one is token. So this one sometimes becomes very complicated the way it is explained, but to make this simple, let's go to my Google Doc and let's take a look at some examples. So in this particular example here, I am saying how was your day? So if you look at the phrase how was your day, it has 1, 2, 3, 4 words, and it has a question mark. So in here, a token is simply the smallest like subset of information in the series of data that is received that can be used to make sense of what you're trying to ask it. And typically when you're dealing with computer models that do natural language processing, the token in this example would be 5 tokens, because we have 4 words and we have the question mark. So the question mark by itself is 1 token. So generally speaking, every question mark, every full stop or period or punctuation character that is being used in any sentence will be a token. And then when you are trying to understand what this means, you just have to understand that every word and a punctuation character is considered a token. So that can kind of give you an idea of how many tokens you are using when you are working with these natural language processing programs, so to speak. And then autoregression. So autoregression is in language modeling, it will refer to being able to predict the next word or the next token in a sequence of tokens based on everything that the computer program has seen so far. So when I say my name is Israel, that is a sequence of tokens. So it is able to make sense of that particular sentence based on everything that have been said before the word Israel. So it is not just using the token Israel or the token my or the token name to make the decision. It is making the decision and predicting what each token in the sequence means based on everything that it has seen so far. So that is what autoregression means, in a nutshell, without having to use too much computer science jargon. So when you see that, that's typically what it means. In some programs, like when you're doing search with Elasticsearch, with Google Search, and some of these things, it does not really use all the words in the sequence. It may pick the word Israel, it may pick the word United States, and then it tries to show you documents or results or websites that contain those keywords. But with autoregressive models, it doesn't work like that. It simply analyzes everything, and step by step, as you move from, like in English, from left to right, it has to analyze everything in that sequence and kind of predict the meaning of the sentence structure based on everything that it has seen so far to give you the desired result that you want. Because the rearrangement of those words or the introduction of a question mark could alter the exact meaning of that phrase. So autoregression makes it possible for us to make sense of what the input is without having to rely on the individual keywords that are in the sentence. So I hope that this video was helpful to you. And if you like my channel, please go ahead and subscribe. And then if you also are on Twitter, please go ahead and follow me on Twitter. And then if you need additional content, please go ahead and check out my website at easyacademy.com. Thank you very much for your time today, and I hope to see you in the next video.